Greetings, grasshoppers. Welcome to the bot signal today. My name is RJ Redden, and if you don't know me, entrepreneurs hire me to skyrocket their marketing message because most feel like they're shouting into a black hole, or they're a carbon copy of everybody else, and they have a heck of a time getting traction online. So, I create epic engagement experiences that get people to click that button, connect with you, and convert like crazy. So, today, we're going to talk a little bit about one of my favorite subjects, and that is storytelling. Yes, my darlings, storytelling. I have prepared an appropriate setting for you. I've well, hold on. I didn't have the right thing clicked, you guys. I've got a little campfire for us today. Whoa. Gosh, I'm just all over the place today. I've got a little campfire. Anyway, so today we're going to talk a little bit about setting a stage for people, about immersing them in something memorable. So there's a lot out there. As you know, as you have experienced, there is a crush of information out there. They call it the content crush, actually. There's a crush of information out there, and it is all geared toward trying to sell you something. It's walk into a marketplace. I had an experience once. Went to Mexico. I went to Mexico. I had a friend who lived in Tucson. I was visiting. I got in her car and she said, "Want to go to Mexico?" And I'm like, yeah. So we hit the gas and went to Mexico, across the border there in Texas. And it was an amazing experience. But one of the things that I remember the most is just the chaos of it all. We're walking in to this marketplace, and first of all, the colors. There just were so many things happening all around. It was like a carnival. And the smells, because there was food going on and everything else. It was pretty fantastic. There was a crowd of people there. And as we were walking through, something interesting happened. So, I'm used to, just walk in the middle. If you've got booths on either side, walk in the middle, walk at a good pace until you're interested in something, then maybe you'll stop by. Oh, those weren't the rules. In this particular marketplace, those weren't the rules at all. What happened was people will come out and put their arm around you and come get you to come and look at their stuff. And if you're too nice, then you got a problem. You'll never make it out. So that is exactly what traditional marketing does, right? There's no way to just kind of stay in the middle. There's no way to, okay, I've got my grocery list. I got 5 things on it. I'm going to search and destroy. I'm just going to find the thing that I need and move on. Now, to a certain extent, you can do that on Amazon. I've tried it. But most of the time, when you're searching for the answer to a problem on the internet, which is where we all go to solve our problems these days, most of them, then how do you stand out among all of the other people in that marketplace? How do you poke your head above all the rest? How do you stand out? To me, the best way to do it is with an immersive experience. The best way to do it is to help people see, smell, hear what you're hearing. And the best kind of story for me is an interactive one. Now, we've talked a lot about stories on the show. We've talked a lot about stories, and we've had Kyle Gray come and talk to us a little bit. That guy is a professional, and he teaches other people how to incorporate the right story for the right crowd at the right time. It's awesomeness. And actually, I'm taking one of his classes coming up here. So I'm ridiculously excited about that. If you want some more in-depth talk about storytelling, let me know and I'll hook you up with Kyle because he's the man. Anyway, what is the interactive storytelling part, RJ? What is, how do you allow your audience to have a place in whatever story you're telling? Well, it's a little bit of a different mentality, isn't it? Because we're coming from a place where it's like, okay, me, my story, telling my audience, that's fine. That's good stuff. But what if you have them let people have a little part in it? And you already do this to a certain extent. You already do some of this when you are in the middle of a webinar, say, and you ask people what they want to hear about. That is interactive storytelling. That is, asking people what they want and steering that conversation toward what it is that they want to hear about. For me, that's a really important thing. Listen, I know that the world has changed, that we are now in front of screens a whole bunch, and I know it's going to change back. It's probably, there's going to be a little bit more screenage than there was before, but the world will come back. But we're in front of screens now. We're telling our stories in front of screens now. How do we involve our audience in that story? Well, it's simple, right? I mean, you can use some really simple tactics. And today we're just going to wave away the technology. We're going to say, okay, I'm not going to recommend any special cool things that you could use technology-wise to make any of this happen. You know that I could, but I will not. Well, wave away the technology and think of some simple ways that you can use interactive storytelling to immerse your audience. Make them think of a whole world when they're with you, okay? To immerse your audience and provide them a memorable experience. Memorable, okay? Because here's the thing. I remember cool stuff. I remember a book I heard about from my friend Pamela. I remember things that catch my eye. It's like walking out of that marketplace and going, okay, that blanket, three booths back, that really did catch my eye. Of course, I'd have to send somebody else in for it because I'm just, otherwise I would walk out with so many things. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, the point of this is, how can we make our stuff more interactive? How can we make our stories more interactive? And one way we've already covered. One way is to make it so that we have a lot of questions in our presentation. So that either we've maybe asked questions beforehand so that we know, or we can ask questions of the audience right there in the presentation. Like, I could ask a question right now and get some answers to it. This is what I'm talking about. Let's incorporate those questions. Let's incorporate a co-steering. You know what I mean? Because here's the deal. I used to have this class, geometry, and I did not do well in that class. Not that I wasn't capable of doing well in that class. I was capable. It just wasn't something that really rocked with me. You know what I mean? But I had this teacher who didn't, he was a real young teacher at the time. He didn't involve the class very much. And I knew that, and I had that class right after lunch, people. Not a great formula. Um, yeah, hey, Brett, good morning. When your prospects set the agenda, everybody wins. All right, back to the story. So, had this class and had this teacher who just wasn't very interactive with the class. He tended to stand, deliver the knowledge, and then, test us on it or whatever, give us homework. And that's kind of when we ask questions. The problem was I would get lost so early in the conversation that I would just go, having that class right after lunch, I about took a nap in that class every day. And when the grades came around, my grades showed it. Not the coolest moment ever, but don't be that kind of person that people look at and go, okay, I can sleep through this. Be that kind of person who asks for interaction right away. You can do that if you're on a stage, if you're in a live stream, if you're in a if you're in a webinar, you can do that right away. A lot of people do try to, and I want to talk about this a little bit. In their webinars and stuff, they've always got that famous first question: "Where are y'all from?" All right, and I love it. It's designed to get people typing into that comment box, because when you are presenting in front of a screen, it's really hard to feed on the audience's energy and know if they're awake out there. It's why a lot of people just refuse to do webinars, because it's such a difficult medium to try to gauge how your audience is doing and how they feel right now. So, where are y'all from? Everybody types in. That's a good question, but let me give you a great one, and then I'll tell you the difference. Hey, what's the biggest thing you want to learn today from me right now? And then have everybody type it in. Here's the difference. That second question matters. That second question matters. Because honestly, does it matter if you know where I'm from? We're on a screen together. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to the speech. It doesn't matter to anything. It's kind of small talk, and small talk is fine as long as it's not part of your presentation. But that's what I want to gear you toward thinking about. What questions can you ask? What questions can you ask that make it interactive? Now, there's another kind of interactive storytelling that I'm a huge fan of as well. And that is, and Brett says that is money. I trust Brett Williams, everybody. Very good. Thank you for stopping by today, Brett, and being so interactive. There's another kind of interactive storytelling that I love as well, and people are just coming out with this, but it's a choose your own adventure video style. Now, I saw one of these a couple of years ago. Typeform made one. Typeform, if you're not familiar with that company, they make survey software, and it's pretty good. They have designed survey software with design in mind, with the user experience in mind, and I just love them as a company. A couple of years ago, they came up with a choose your own adventure video. So you start the video, a scene plays, and then you're given, and then a situation comes on screen. Okay. And it's this guy, the guy next door apparently has locked himself out of the apartment. Are you going to let him in the door so that he can go and like leap across the balcony or do whatever he's going to do? Or are you going to not do that? Are you going to tell him, no, I can't do that right now? And so no matter which one you choose, then you are off on a choose your own adventure. Now, Don't sue me. Choose your own adventure, people. But you're off on a whole thing, and you can discover things on this little journey. You've got decisions to make every few minutes on this little journey, and it's fascinating. Okay, now, what if you could do something like that? And what if you could make it a little bit pertinent to your business? Now, I know our Brett is very involved in LinkedIn stuff. So we'll talk about you for a minute, Brett. What if there could be a choose your own adventure story, an interactive storytelling thing? And this is not during a webinar, not during a live speech, but just something that people can't, like an interactive freebie, the one that we've been talking about so much lately here. What if you could create something like that that's pertinent to your business? Doesn't have to be a video, although those are the most immersive kind. You know what I'm saying? I love that stuff. But it could be an interactive text story. It could be a story about, okay, you're faced with this situation. You've got these choices. What do you want to do? And you can use that opportunity to teach people along the way. You can use that opportunity to give them tips along the way. So Brett's story might be about LinkedIn. My story would be about engagement marketing and how to involve people in the process of marketing with them. And so my story would look like this. It would look something like this. I'm just, this is something I've just kind of thought about, but don't look for it on the internet yet, people. It's not there. What I've got for you is that I would have a situation where an entrepreneur was trying to decide on a marketing campaign, or kind of looking at what the next year ahead is going to be. A lot of people do that. They try to plan out, okay, what's the content going to be? What are they going to have? And they look at, what they're doing for marketing, or they're maybe doing an audit of their marketing. They're looking at, okay, how successful is this? Beyond, well, I got a client this week because they went through that thing. Yeah, I get it. That's kind of how I keep track in my head too. But every once in a while, you do have to kind of sit down and look at the things, you know what I mean? So my situation would be someone sitting down to decide, okay, sitting down to look at what their marketing plans are. And I would have people choose their own adventures from there. Okay, so say you're heavily email oriented. Great. There would be an email button there. And then you would go down a path where I could teach you how to make that email a little bit more engaging. So you get a better open rate, a better click-through rate, and people are actually interested. We talk a lot about how people ignore email here at the show, because they do. But I will also tell you this. When I get email from certain people, I listen up, because they've got a good story to tell, because they've got something that's interesting and valuable for me, because reading their email is a valuable thing to do, because I've gotten some value from that. Okay, most of them I ignore, but there are a few people that I actually do read anyway, who shall remain nameless anyway. So, interactive marketing, an immersive environment where you can help people pick their own path, whether that's a video like I was saying, whether that's a bot, or whether that is just plain old sitting on a live stream, asking people questions, asking people what they want to hear about, asking people what is the biggest thing they want to learn from you today, and then making sure you hit that thing in your speech. That's the most important part. Catching up on the comments here. The power of this idea is amazing. You're providing value, gaining segmentation. Yes, Brett Williams. Yes. Gathering data and learning your client's base needs. all at the same time, all without having to say, "So where are y'all from?" Now, I mean, I kind of like to know those things, but it doesn't really, in these days, when we're crossing oceans, hey, Nether Noose, I see you. How's it going today, my friend? When we're crossing oceans with the sound of our voice, today, it doesn't really matter. Ask your audience to participate in ways that matter to them. There was a huge, huge marketing campaign. I think it was last Halloween, but it was a pest product. Okay, how boring is pest products? How boring is that? But what they did was, and I've kept the link to this somewhere. I'll put it in the comments a little later on. What they did was they had this huge live stream, and they had this was so fabulous. They had puppets. They had puppets of these rats, and they put on this whole little show and about how this, the storyline was, the person wakes up with rats in their house and how do they get rid of them. Okay. And so they put on this whole little show, and they had these different weapons that the audience could use. It was a live stream, so people could vote. Does he use a cannon to get the rats out? Does he use, that just all these different silly weapons? And the person that was, doing the acting the part of the human had these super silly props. Does he use a super soaker to get rid of the rats? All of these different things, and they had this story. At some certain points, people could choose, what the main character was going to do next. And it was all centered around basically this company sells stuff that you can get rid of mice with, rats with. So some rat poison, basically. So, so, and of course, in the end, they illustrated that point for us pretty well, and they did a little commercial with the puppets and their product or whatever. It was a huge live stream. It was huge. I think they did it for Halloween 2019, and it was amazing. It was amazing. All kinds of people participated. And that was that was an interactive storytelling right there. So sometimes interactive storytelling can be silly. I get you. I get you. Sometimes it can be silly. And sometimes people don't want their businesses to be silly. Maybe they're marketing to people who would maybe not take them seriously. And I get that. But can you take that idea and apply it to your business? Can you take that idea and develop an interactive freebie that will help people, give them value, uh, segment them into different categories so you know what's going to be of value to them in the future? Can you draw people to that experience? It's much easier for me to draw people to an interactive experience than it is to, here, come read this PDF, and you probably knew the information anyway. So that is, oh, hey, thanks, QPR75. Thanks for joining me, my friend. It is a great marketing technique. It is something that I am really passionate about lately. Excuse me. I'm passionate about this because people spend so much time crafting that freebie, because that freebie is the entrance into the tribe, right? Some people would call it bait, but I would call it it's the doorway into your tribe. If I can make that doorway something that people can experience in an immersive way, we're all looking for a distraction, folks. We all are. It doesn't matter whether you work in an office, whether you work at home, whether you work in your attic, I don't care. We are wanderers on the internet. And sometimes if somebody shoots you something and says, hey, take a look at this. This is pretty amazing. You're going to take a look at it. You're going to take a look and see what they got going on. And if that is your interactive freebie, then congratulations. Marketing excellence right there. That is pretty darn fabulous. And yeah, uh, that's what I love. That's what I love about interactive marketing. That's what I love about engagement is that I'm working hard to gain your attention. It's harder to develop an interactive storytelling experience than it is to just say, hey, click here and you'll get our white paper. Oh my gosh. I know that that still works on some audiences, but wow. It makes me think of my days in my master's program where I spent writing lots and lots of papers. Anyway, uh, it is a lot easier for me to draw people to an interactive experience where they're going to learn something. Even if they don't like my product, even if they go, oh, her personality's a little out there, that's fine. If I've gotten your attention, then, and if I know what you value, then maybe I can refer you out to a friend of mine who maybe fits your personality a little bit more, or maybe fits your needs a little bit more. Um, that's what I'm thinking about. That's what we talk about every day here on the Bot Signal. And also, I want to tell you guys we have got a super cool event going on. It's on Thursday, and it's a full day live event. It is free. And it is going to be super fabulous. We are going to talk about the three main things that you can do to get more engagement in your marketing right now without any extra tools, without paying for anything else. We're going to talk to you about how those three methods have worked in our marketing and, of course, our clients' marketing. We're going to develop case studies, and you're going to walk out with a little bit of a strategy on how to skyrocket your engagement in 2021. Because it's coming, baby. It's coming. We got to be ready. And hey, if the new year isn't, if you don't wait for the new year to start your stuff, then that's good too. You could start earlier than everybody else, but you'll walk away knowing what the three ninja secrets are of engagement marketing and having a strategy on how to approach that in your own personal business. It's all for free. Going is skyrocketlive.com is where you go to sign up for that. And the last one we had was absolutely amazing. So many people got helped. So many people walked out with a solid strategy and some things written on what they were going to do their engagement marketing with. This is what I want for you. And that's about it for me today. I will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we will be talking about ultra cool stuff. Actually, we are going to talk about boring bots. That's right, baby. We're going to talk about saying goodbye to boring bots, and if you have a boring bot, how to spice that up so that you get more interaction and get more of what you need and give your clients more of what they need out of your bot. So, my friends, interactive quizzes work well too. Hello, BuzzFeed. Yes, I did a show on quizzes a couple of weeks ago. Quizzes are amazing. They're amazing and they can be amazingly fun. So, totally agree there. Cash App is doing Choose Your Story on their IG page, on their Instagram page. Excellent. I'm going to have to check that out, my friend. Thank you for putting that there. As always, thank you for joining me. My audience is why I pop out of bed in the morning excited, because I know I'm going to talk to some awesome people. So show up tomorrow if you've got the time and the inclination. Sign up for the all-day event on Thursday because it's going to be awesome. Skyrocketlive.com, people. And with that, I will see you in a bot.